Well, didn't that street performer play very well? He played many, many notes within a few minutes. Well, how did he remember all those notes? The way he did it was through form. He played and remembered different patterns that helped him remember where he was within the piece of music he was playing. You might have seen it look like an A or a B contrasting section, and then back to an A. We have many songs that we sing that look like this. Mrs. Scott may have had you take a look at it, and it might have looked like this. A section, B section, A section. Or might have looked like this. Verse, verse, chorus, back to verse. So how did he remember all those notes? One way is to think of how he played it as a story. In the first part of this story, we have a melody, or we call it a theme. As you can see, this man has a blue key. So this represents our melody. He plays along, and then he has to transition, so he goes over a bridge, and he goes into a second melody. And as you can see, the key is not the same color. Then he goes into what we call the development. This is where the melody is broken apart, changed around. Sometimes we can't even hear the melody anymore, but it is still in there somewhere. Then we get back to what we call the capitulation. We go back to the A melody, and we hear it again. Crosses the bridge, he goes into his B melody, but this time he's not yellow, he's blue, because he's in the same key as the first melody. So the big picture is we see an A melody, or A section, sorry. We go into a contrasting B section, and then we go back to an A section. This might be a long time, might be 10 minutes before this whole piece is completely done, or longer. So if we were to look at this form in this way, this is what it would look like. And if I were to say to you, this looks like college work, I think it's a little bit too hard for us to look at it in this way, but we can still understand it. So let's look at it in another form. Uh-oh, this kind of looks like how I might have drawn it when I was in college. And that's kind of lots of scribbles, kind of hard to understand. So we're going to use cookies. So in this, let's take a look at this form. Here we have an A melody and a contrasting B. Now we have an A melody, contrasting B melody, and back to an A melody. A, B, A form. This is what we call rondo form. We play lots of rondo forms. A melody, contrasting, A melody, contrasting, A melody. This could also be something different. Often it is. Sometimes it isn't. And it could be back to a B melody and then back to A. This one's called Theme and Variations. Mozart's Twinkle Twinkle Little Star is a theme and variations. So we have melody, contrasting melody, based usually, something about this is based on the A melody. They're kind of linked together. Then it contrasts again, still again, linked to the A melody. Contrast again, contrast again, and then finally we go back and we repeat that A melody. Now as you can see by this picture, they're all cookies, so they all have something related. Okay, back to that sonata allegro form. This is what it would look like if I were to draw it out with cookies. A melody, B melody. I know what this is. It's a repeat mark. I go back, I play this again, and I play my B melody. Then I go on to that development. And as you can see, all the melodies are broken apart. They're put in different places. Some are turned upside down, some are turned backwards. Eventually, we get back to the A melody. And that B melody is in the same key as our A melody. All right, I want you to identify this form. If you picked A, B, A, you are understanding this. Okay, our lesson's over, but we have one more thing I want you to do. We're going to take a look at another classical music piece that has a sonata allegro form. And hopefully you will understand how the patterns in this piece fit together.